I was at Friday Night SmackDown when The Rock showed up. So I want to talk about this segment, this promo, fan reaction, and being there live and kind of what the atmosphere was sitting there in the audience. So number one, I'm loving this version of The Rock. There is obviously still some people that are going to say this is not the best version. It's not Hollywood Rock. Like I really do kind of like it. He's got like, it's almost this hybrid to me of classic $500 shirt corporation Rock and the Hollywood Rock kind of melted into this new version. So we were pretty curious to find out what The Rock was gonna say in this promo, and is it gonna be anything like setting up the main event match? Like, we know we're supposed to get Cody Roman, but what's The Rock gonna do? And at the end of this, we still don't know. But what this promo did was solidify that The Rock is a heel. Is it a little bit too much of a like hard right turn? Like, we went from the event where like they had the trailer and everything, and then they had the standoff and The Rock showed up in Vegas. They had that, and The Rock made like the transition, right? Where he was like very angry and mad about this whole main event scene and how all this was going. And I liked all of that. It just felt like they went so fast into this is heel Rock and this is what he's doing. Now, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I really liked it. I felt like they could have more layers built in there. I mean, it would have been cool to see Rock come out in like a suit and do that. But I understand too that you're building to WrestleMania. You kind of want to make things very clear. And I think now they have a very clear direction of what they're going to do. So they probably just want to go all in. Now, the promo itself, Rock's promo standing in the ring, there's a lot to unpack. It's a lot said and a lot of nothing too, because he didn't come out and like say this is going to be a match or anything. This promo to me was designed to solidify Rock as this is heel Rock. This is the version of him you're going to get going forward for the foreseeable future. It does leave a lot of question marks to me of like what this main event at WrestleMania is going to be, like night 2 main event. Are they going to do a tag match? Is Rock special guest referee? Is it going to be just Rock in Roman's corner? Like, there's so much we want to talk about here. Being there live in the arena, great atmosphere. When The Rock's music hit, I geeked out because I'm seeing The Rock for the first time in my life. So 10-year-old Matt is losing his little mind because I get to hear The Rock's music. It is loud. It is very loud. The Rock is huge. Like, seeing him live in person, he is a mountain of a man. Roman Reigns is not a small man. Roman is huge as well. The Rock is like next level double refrigerator size. The man is gigantic, and him standing in the ring with the Bloodline and with Roman Reigns, we've seen this when like they were just in press conferences together too, but like Rock towers in size comparison. It makes Roman look like a little brother. And the reaction the crowd gave live was big cheers. Like, you're sitting there, The Rock's music hit, and it's just kind of like what fans are going to do. You're seeing The Rock live, so people are cheering. They're all cheering as soon as his music hit and he did his pose and everything. Once the promo started, that's where it got interesting. The crowd was loving it, like the whole segment, the whole promo. And we all saw what The Rock was saying, where he's running everybody down, and it felt like Attitude Era Rock and Hollywood Rock blended, right? Where he's actually telling the crowd that they're trailer park trash and running down the audience. I like that better than the last however many times we've seen The Rock show up in WWE, where he's just smiling, happy to be here, hang out Rock, where he's telling half the crowd to boo and yay, whatever, call them names. And it's just kind of like, okay, it's an old tired shtick and it doesn't mean anything. This was fun. And that's the biggest takeaway I have from even being there live, is that this segment and this build to WrestleMania to me is just fun and entertaining. I'm entertained and I'm curious of what they're going to do. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But the point of this, again, I think was just to solidify Rock, to solidify Rock as this is heel Rock. This is what you're going to get. This is what you can expect. Now, when he's running down the crowd and doing all that, the crowd is laughing because it's so good and entertaining hearing The Rock just chew up everybody and talk down to everyone in the crowd. It was fun to watch and fun to listen to. He got the boos. The Bloodline got the boos. But people still like shout and throw the ones for Roman Reigns. So you're getting what you get. But it came across, I watched it on TV also, the whole segment, and being there too, again, you're getting a different feel for it. And yeah, The Rock is very much a heel in this, but the interesting part was what a lot of people are highlighting online is when The Rock was running down, or what seemed to be him running down Cody, and like, Cody, would you finish your story, and all that not mattering, when he said like, whatever the line was, you're not going to finish your story, or it's like, you're going to lose at WrestleMania, he points over, and he was kind of like where Rock was positioned, he was still, there's still distance, and he was physically away from Roman, the rest of the bloodline, and he's pointing over and positioning himself to be facing Roman Reigns, and saying that like, you will lose. So is this foreshadowing? Maybe. It was interesting though, because a lot of it, like, it's The Rock just cutting a promo and doing his thing, but it is important, I think, to look at body language and positioning in the ring. They're telling a story. So where is everybody? You have the rest of the bloodline over on one side, and you have The Rock like center stage as the head of the table, like clearly running the show. And it really got me wondering about what this WrestleMania is going to look like and mean for their story between Roman and Rock. And I think it's going to go a number of different ways. You could get just bloodline dominance, like Cody finishing the story, Cody beating Roman on night 1 or night 2. They haven't specified yet if Cody Roman is going to be night 1 or night 2. We still don't know. And I think they're probably still trying to figure it out. Is it going to be a tag team match night 1 or night 2? Is Rock, now I'm thinking like, is Rock going to turn on Roman Reigns during a match or at the end of the match? The Rock's gonna do physical involvement, do something. I wouldn't be surprised at the tag team match, because that seems to be what they are setting up, but again, it's not official. And you do have Seth already going after fighting whoever's gonna win the chamber match, and that's gonna be his match. So is he gonna pull double duty? That's a lot. And with the way it ended, with The Rock standing there and throwing up the sign, throwing up the bloodline sign saying this is the bloodline, but he's pointing with the sub too, and he's doing like a bang bang gang thing. But The Rock doing that, it was like, well, did he mean to do this? Did he do this by accident? Like, what was that? Was it just whoopsie? This is what he thought the bloodline sign was? I don't know. Do those things matter? Are those little details that and hints that they're dropping of things? But also, again, positioning. That scene and sitting there watching it live, it felt like, wow. Like when The Rock was saying how like, this is the bloodline and we're all like together. It felt very big, it felt very dominating, and it was kind of a standback. It felt like Nation of Domination, again, with like a blend of all these different versions of The Rock. You having that moment of The Rock raising his arm in the ring with the rest of the bloodline, that to me felt like I was watching old WWF and Nation of Domination. And The Rock, though, is positioned like very, kind of oddly, like he's over to the side and the rest of the bloodline are kind of over to the side and then they're all standing, but usually with WWE TV, the production anyways, they would all like stand in a row, and they didn't do that. So there's just some stuff where I'm kind of like, huh, that's a little unique, that's different. But again, that Mania main event, whatever the main event is, whatever The Rock's involvement is, if all these little like hints and teases come true and play out, it's going to be a really cool story, and they're probably going to do something where Roman loses the belt to Cody. I think that's almost guaranteed. Can't say for sure, but I really feel like that's going to happen. And then are you going to get The Rock turning on Roman at the end of night 2? Because he lost. I don't know if it's going to be necessarily that Rock screws Roman out of a belt. Because it's like, does Rock need to do that? Why would he need to screw Roman? I think it would be almost like if Roman just loses or costs them the tag match and he loses the belt, and that combination, The Rock is then motivated to be like, I knew you couldn't run this. Like, you're not the leader. I am. I didn't lose. You lost this for us. So I'm going to fix this. And rock bottom to Roman Reigns, thus making Roman super huge babyface, and you have evil corporate, new version of Hollywood Rock run around for the next couple of years. And that's the other piece. This seems to be a very long story they're going to tell. I don't feel like this is just going to lead to WrestleMania 40 and we're all done. WWE's big deal that they have with Netflix and Rock on the board of directors, I think that this is all going to play into it too. They're going to do different stuff for whenever they do a Rock Roman match, if it is WrestleMania 41. But I think you will see different things because you're not going to get The Rock in the ring, and you're going to have limited access to him when he does show up. So you want it to be meaningful. But if you have this big deal with Netflix, you could shoot this like another TV show, like where it's gonna be more behind the scenes stuff, little documentary style things. Like they could really set things up because The Rock knows production as well, and so does his team. So like it's kind of a win-win if you put it all under, you are putting it under Netflix, but like you're gonna be able to expand so much more of what this story could be. And that's where I feel like Rock's earlier points a year ago, talking about how they want to do something that's never been done before. And this could probably lean into that. Because if it was just Rock versus Roman WrestleMania 40, boom, that's the match, it'd be great, but it'd be like a one-off. This, because I think there's been problems like Punk getting injured and just the crowd turning on Rock, I think really made them pivot, but they were able to pivot. I'm also wondering what's the role of Triple H going to be, because he didn't come out, and I was disappointed by that. So there are so many different intriguing pieces. Again, the crowd there live, very, very pro Rock. Love that he was running down the crowd. It was just entertaining. After the show, after SmackDown went off the air, The Rock was like pointing to the crowd. One guy was flipping him off, and he's kind of flipping him back. He walked around, but he did like shake hands and say hi to people and was being kind of nice and everything, and then looked at the crowd at the ramp and kind of waved and said thank you. So you know that he is very much playing this up for the people, but it's so much fun. And that's what's been really good about WWE's product, like with all of this. WWE, I always find, when it was under just like Vince McMahon, when things went wrong and they were forced to change, that's when I found the product did so much better. Like with Daniel Bryan and that story coming together because the fans revolted and they were forced, WWE was forced to change. That worked out and we got some great television out of it. I think this Cody situation and Punk being injured, playing into that, plus the reaction of The Rock, these pieces all kind of falling together. Maybe it wasn't what they originally intended and planned, but I think because they had to pivot in this way, and basically Rock turning around saying, okay, if they're gonna boo me, then let's go. Then let's go on that ride. Let's go in that direction. Let's pivot and go with the audience. And they're doing that. And I think because Triple H isn't creative in the head of it, The Rock is in there, Brian Gewirtz is in there. You have a lot of strong minds for all of this. And I think we do need to look at like WrestleMania 41, maybe 42. There's going to be a lot going on with all of this. And for the next year after WrestleMania, presuming that Roman drops the belt, you're not going to see Roman anyways. Like, he might be around 4 times a year for next year. I don't know. But his contract is like fewer and fewer dates. I think next year Roman is probably going to end up being cheered as a face by maybe getting screwed by The Rock. And The Rock being more dominant on programming and butting heads with like Triple H and continuing that bigger storyline that is way beyond the belt. But there it brings into like the last point of all this. I'm excited if Cody wins because it will finally open things up on SmackDown, on both brands, on Raw and SmackDown, having champs defending the titles more and freshening up storylines. This Roman Rock thing is going to live on its own island, for lack of a better word, but it's going to be on its own island of relevancy. And I think it will exist there and will be beyond belts. It's about the bloodline and the family and all this. And you have this giant, really intriguing story for a very long time you can play with and bring in different characters. But I'm so glad that it's probably going to get into, after WrestleMania 40, fresh faces fighting for a title where it feels like there's a chance the title can move around. The world title, I feel like, is going to need to move around more on Raw if it stays on Raw. And if Cody has the belt, the WWE Championship or Undisputed Championship, then he's got to have better challengers, like Braun Breaker debuting, which was really cool to see live as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. SmackDown was a really fun show, and that segment was just really interesting to see how the crowd really reacted. But again, where are they going to go with The Rock? If you guys enjoy Unfiltered here with Matt. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like, but let me know what you think. Where are they gonna go with this leading to WrestleMania? And what do you see as kind of that final piece of WrestleMania as it goes off the air, WrestleMania 40 Night 2? Is it The Rock just destroying Roman Reigns? Or is it going to be just Cody Rhodes holding up the belt? Or Rock raising Cody's hand? I don't know, but there's so many options. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you in the next one. Bye.